Hello everyone, Commish here with this week's edition of Dish from the Commish. Sorry about the lack of a jersey, but even the Commish has to go to work. Today's sports topics will be the Final Four, Tebow Mania, and Bountygate. That's a mouthful. Let's start with the Final Four. Kentucky, Louisville, Kansas, Ohio State. All big schools. Should be interesting. Kentucky's been the best team all year. Everyone's picking them. Syracuse and North Carolina probably would have been there. Each one lost a star player. One for ineligible academics, the other with a broken wrist. Kentucky and Louisville. Ugh. Pitino and Calipari. Ugh. My stomach is turning. Not my two favorite people. Most people I kind of think they're one person. They're the same. Both known for winning, switching teams, and sleazy events. So, I don't want either one, but I'm hoping anybody but Kentucky, but I think it's probably going to be Kentucky. Let's move on to Tebow Mania. As all good Bronco fans you heard last week, getting a Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning. For any real Bronco fan, we should be having the Mania. But something about Tebow Mania, I thought it would be in Florida. It's on its way to New York to play for the Jets. And a perfect place because their owner, Mr. Woody Johnson, is the perfect ringmaster. And their coach, Rex Ryan, is a clown. So the Tebow Circus should be perfect going on to New York. Probably going to think he's a backup, but the first time Sanchez throws a pick, those Tebow's chance will start. And the Jets, let's see, it's only been 43 years since Joe Namath ruled the city. A couple of years after, when Joe broke down, it's been Giants for almost 40 years. It was the Giants before Joe Namath. And the Jets have spent most of the last 40 years chasing the tail, chasing the Giants. If it's not Brett Favre, it's Plaxico Burress. If it's not Plaxico Burress, it's Tim Tebow. Tebow Mania. Anything to try to get a headline from the Giants. And it's just driving Woody and Clown Rex crazy after declaring the Super Bowl that the Giants came from nowhere to win the Super Bowl. So, it is what it is. It will be a circus. The Jets will probably go. Tebow will do a lot of praying. He'll probably wind up playing. But it ain't going to matter. They still have the Patriots in their division. We'll be back with more in a moment. I wasn't strong on the Final Four, so I brought in a resident expert for his opinion. What do you think? Kentucky? Kansas? Ohio State? Louisville? Treats? No real feel either, so we'll pass on making a prediction. But it'll probably be Kentucky, but that's easy. Moving on to Bountygate. Ugh, Bountygate. Did you ever think you'd hear? I thought Watergate was bad. Bountygate. Now, producer Adam, who was a Saints fan when they won the Super Bowl, broke my heart beating my Vikings in the championship game. Pretty sleazy. They got what they deserved, though, the Saints. The cover-up always gets you. It's the cover-up. People make mistakes, but it's the cover-up. It's trying to get away with it. It's Richard Nixon all over again. Go. They got what they deserved. Even if they're bounties. You don't go out hurting people. The NFL's dangerous enough. It's a brotherhood. But that brings me to the great job the commish, fellow commish, Roger Goodell, a commish we can look up to, in bringing down that hammer. A year for the coach, probably life for the assistant coach, half a year for the GM, and we haven't gotten to the players. You got to make a statement. Which brings us to the difference between commissioners. We've got David Stern in basketball, we've got Bud Light in baseball, and we have Roger Goodell. Just look at the difference. I'll bring you one example. A couple of weeks ago, 3 TV and scheduling situations. Here's the difference between the 3 commissioners of these 3 major sports. Okay? We won't even talk about hockey. Their commission's pretty clueless also. Let's go back to Goodell. Goodell finds out that opening NFL game, Thursday night, September 6th, same night that Obama's speaking at the Democratic Convention. He doesn't want to make a political statement, and he wants to have good ratings. So he moves the big opening game to a Wednesday. For the biggest draw, it's not going to matter. Savvy, smart. Then we have basketball, the NBA, with their screwed up, truncated season. They have their All-Star game right against the Oscars. Stern has the whole day with no TV but some regular season college basketball game, but he doesn't move the game to start at a time before the Oscars. He goes right against it, and for what I hear, that game had lower ratings than the rain delay for the Daytona 500 the next day. And then there's Bud Light, who puts in this one-game playoff with the new wild card. But instead of starting it next year, we won't even talk about how ridiculous a one-game playoff is. Because the TV schedule's set, he now has the next series with the winning teams that win the divisions having the home field disadvantage by playing 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, followed by 3 games at home, which will be the new home field disadvantage. All because they can't travel enough because they have to stuff that extra game in because TV is set. So here's 3 different ways to run your business, 2 completely inept and 1 excellently done, which tells you why the NFL is king. Just the way it is. As a fellow commish, hats off to Roger Goodell, thumbs down to Bud Light and David Stern. Commish will be in Vegas next week, a couple of days on spring break, so look for me a couple of days late. I'll tell you about the trip, although what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So, goodbye for now. May all your teams win and cover the spread, and peace out, homies.